Hey guys, welcome to Y360 Houston. My name's Kim and we're going to be doing a mat Pilates class today. All you're going to need is a mat, a towel, and a bottle of water. So you go grab that and I'll see you in a second. All right, so we're going to start seated today. I just want to open the hips up a little bit. So we're going to sit down on your sits bones, and that's that bony surface that gets sore when you ride a bicycle or a horse. And I want you to pull those heels in close to you. Now, as I put the soles of my feet together and pull my heels in close to my glutes, I'm going to draw my shoulders up, down, and back. I want you to envision your spine growing nice and tall. As if it was against a wall, I want the entire spine touching that wall. And just think about drawing your knees away from your face and towards the floor. So our hips are opening and we're getting an incredible stretch through our inner thighs. And as I keep my arms engaged, I'm going to draw my shoulders down away from my ears. So I'm feeling a gentle stretch through my neck, through my upper back, and through my shoulders. Let's go ahead and drop the chin down to the chest, keeping that belly button pulled in tight. I want you to scoop out the abdominals and pull against those ankles and feel that incredible stretch that you're feeling through your upper and middle and lower back. Keep those abdominals scooped out and you're rounding that back. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall and envision that spine growing tall again. So let's inhale, exhale, scoop out the abdominals, pull against the ankles, getting that gentle stretch through your upper and middle back again. And then let's grow tall again and draw those shoulders down and back. Now I want you to look up and feel that stretch through the front of the neck, drawing that chin to the sky. And then look straight ahead again. Drop your chin one more time and feel that gentle stretch through your neck. And then look up again and draw your knees together. Now we're going to start laying down. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. And on the way down, I want you to hold on behind the knees, scoop out the abdomen again, and stretch that back one more time. Our next move that we do, we're going to warm up that spine. So we're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. And I want you to place your hands firmly into the ground. Now I want our feet just hip bone apart. So hip width apart right here. And I want us to focus on pushing our hands down into the ground, pushing our elbows and triceps down into the ground, and widening those shoulders down into the ground. I don't want your rib cage floating. Envision that I put like a little brick right there on your rib cage, and I want you to draw it down and in. So we're going to start with a slight pelvic tilt, warming up that spine. And you're just going to take your pubic bone to your belly button. Your glutes will just slightly raise up off of the floor, and you're feeling your abdominals start to engage. Now don't let the knees flare like this. You want to keep them lined up with those hip bones. And we're going to take an inhale through the nose, and as you exhale through the mouth, you're going to focus on one vertebrae at a time, articulating down. So we're lengthening that lower part of the back. And then now my coccyx bone or your tailbone just touch the ground. Let's try that again. Inhale, and as you exhale, pelvic tilt, taking your pubic bone to your belly button, engaging your abdominals. Now as you engage those abdominals, I want you to relax your glutes right now and let your abdominals physically hold you up here. And then we're going to take an inhale through the nose and exhale and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Now then we're going to try it one more time. This is called articulating bridge. So that means you're just coming up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, exhale, start to roll up off of the ground, peeling one vertebrae at a time, envisioning your pubic bone coming to your belly button. And let's see how high you can go without using the glutes and hamstrings to bring you up here. So inhale, exhale, and let's roll down slowly. Your abdominals are controlling the descent down. and you're thinking about, I am feeling one individual vertebrae articulate at a time as I exhale and I roll down, and then my tailbone touches the ground. Let's pull our knees into our chest real quick and get a little stretch. Crunch up to it. This feels really good. Now next we're going to go ahead, instead of articulating bridge, we're going to go into a neutral bridge. That means everything's going to come up at one time. So let's find our hip bones again, line our knees and our ankles up with it. We have about a 45-degree bend in that knee. And we're going to inhale, and as we exhale this time, everything is going to come up at the same time. So inhale, exhale, and everything comes up at the same time. So from my shoulder to my knee should be a continual angle up. My glutes are engaged, my hamstrings are engaged, my quadriceps are engaged, my core is engaged. I'm going to inhale, and I'm just going to tap my glutes down, and then I'm going to take it right back up into that neutral bridge. Stay at the top for a minute, check your hip bones to see that they're lying level across, and then we're going to tap those glutes down again. And 10 times we're going to go up and tap those glutes, and 2 and tap those glutes, watching the tracking of the knees, 3 and tap those glutes. Now if you want to make it a little bit more difficult and challenging, 4, go ahead and raise those arms up to the sky, and 5 and tap, and 6 and tap, and 7, every time trying to get just a tad bit higher, and 8 and tap. Look at your neck right now. Your chin should not be resting on the chest. And meet me at the top this time, number 10. Everybody take a deep breath in through the nose. Start at those shoulder blades, and we're going to articulate down one vertebrae at a time. And you notice that your body's going to try to go down in sections. Instead, think about the vertebrae, individual articulation. You have to control those abdominals, and you have to focus on them controlling the descent down. And when I see you at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and take the soles of the feet together. Let our knees open up into a butterfly stretch, just getting some relief through those hip flexors and through those inner thighs. Abs are pulled in nice and tight, and then we're going to draw those knees back together. Okay, next series for our abdominals. We're going to go back to about a 45-degree bend in our knees, but this time we're going to go to tabletop. So I want you to draw your right leg up and then your left leg up. Now look right here. We want this line. We want a 90-degree angle now. So we want our ankle and knee lined up and our knee over our hip bones. That is tabletop. So if I had a bowl of soup and it was on my shins, I would not lose that bowl of soup. Not spilling any soup. That's what I want you to envision right now. Now let's flex our feet and then point our toes. And then flex our feet and point your toes. Now keep that going. And I want you to pay attention what you're feeling through your core. If your back is trying to arch, that is what you should be feeling, because your abdominals are working to keep that spine imprinted on the ground. If you're right here, you're not going to feel it. So you want to make sure that those knees are directly over those hip bones. Now let's point our toes, feel that gentle stretch through the front of the ankle, and then flex our feet and take our heels to the sky. Now then, I want you to envision pushing your quadricep, this big muscle right here in the front of your leg, through your hamstring. And that's going to help you to straighten those legs and engage those hamstrings and quads. Now I want us to crunch up and stare at our thighs. Now I am not looking at the ceiling. That's going to strain my neck. I have my head in neutral. So I'm envisioning taking my bottom rib to my hip bone and keeping that connection of hip bone and rib. So I'm reaching past my glutes, and I'm going to draw my front leg down, and then I'm going to take it back up. And then you're going to switch back leg down and take it back up. And front leg down and take it back up, and back leg down and take it back up. Now then, we're going to add a little pulse to it. And as you add that pulse, you're going to feel the challenge of your core not to rock. So we're going to go here, and it's going to be hit, 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 hit. Quadriceps are working, core is working, and we're keeping that rib cage drawn down and in. Knit it together, guys. You don't want it floating away. Press your hands down into the ground, hit, and hit, and hit, and hit, keeping those legs nice and strong, keeping those quadriceps and hamstrings engaged. 5 more, and 4, relief is coming. I know you're challenged. 3, and 2, and 1, and cross those ankles and rock up to a seated position. Now we're going to hinge forward and get some relief for our lower back that's had to do a lot of stabilization. And you're going to feel your glutes stretching right now too. And then let's sit up nice and tall. And we're going to go to a little sideline series. Now, typically in classical Pilates, our arm would be long and we would be down on the ground right there, like this. But today, I want us to be up on our elbow. A little different challenge. We're going to have our elbow directly underneath our shoulder and then our wrist lined up with our elbow. We're going to come up onto our side like this for a hot second. And you're going to feel the bottom oblique try to collapse down. Don't let it. Come up right here. You're going to feel our shoulder working. You're going to feel that core working. And we're just going to do a little hip dip. So you're going to tap that hip down and then draw it back up. And tap that hip down and draw it back up. Now the whole time you're doing this, focus on that belly button being pulled in nice and tight. And you're feeling those obliques working. You're feeling your shoulder working as you keep the integrity of that shoulder. In other words, you're not going to relax it and let it float up to our ear. And lift and tap and lift and tap and lift. You got 3 more times. 3, and focus on that bottom oblique coming up, and 2, and lift, and 1. Now leave that hip down on the ground and extend those legs. We need a straight line from your ankle, your knee, your hip bone, your rib cage, your armpit, and your ear. So if you see the top of your knee, you need to turn it forward, all right? Now then, keep this bottom inner thigh engaged. Keep this core engaged, because watch, when I collapse my oblique, my shoulder comes right up to my ear. So you want to keep that upper back and the bottom oblique engaged. And we're going to raise that top leg. Now our abductor, our outer thigh is engaged, our core is engaged, our entire oblique system and our shoulder is engaged. And we're going to start drawing circles. 10, 9, 8, 7. Paying attention that nothing else is moving. You're drawing that circle, and if you look down your leg, it's coming in front and behind with the bottom leg. Now let's reverse the circle. 10, 9. Try not to let the body rock. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now flex that foot, and we're just going to do little presses to the sky. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Don't drop it yet. One more little move. Rotate down, point the toe, and focus on the glute of that leg that's up. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw those knees in for a little quick relief, and then we're going to switch sides. So remember, we're going to start with that elbow underneath the shoulder, wrist and elbow lined up, knees are bent, and we're going to come up and we're going to start that little hip dip. So it's 1 and lift, 2, you can draw that other arm up for more of a challenge, 3 and lift, and 4, using those obliques, those outer thighs, keeping the belly button pulled in tight, 6 and lift, and 7 and lift, and 8, you're almost there, and 9 and lift, and 10 and lift. Now place that front hand down. What are we looking for on this sideline series? Remember, we've got our ankle, our knee, our hip bone, rib cage, armpit, and ear, straight line. Place this front hand down for support. Raise that leg up, and let's start our circles. Remember, if the shoulder gets close to the ear, you've collapsed. So pull back up and circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Paying attention that nothing else is moving but that leg. 3, 2, and reverse the circle. 1, 2. Look down there. Are you going in front and behind the base leg? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now flex that foot. Little bitty lifts. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's happening with this bottom oblique? 6, 7. Belly button in tight. 8, 9, and 10. Turn over. Interlock your hands. And with that top glute, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull those knees in for a quick stretch, and we're going to go ahead and sit up. Cross the ankles, draw the shoulders back, and just hinge forward. And as you do this, you're going to feel a stretch in both glutes, in your lower back, in your hip flexors and inner thighs. Just getting a little break. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. So the next series, we're going to lay down on our abdominals, and we're going to focus on the back. If you've got a bad back, please take the precautions that I tell you about the assisted raise instead of doing just the regular raise, okay? So we're going to lay down on our abdominals, and we're going to focus on both hip bones equally distributed into the ground. We're going to start just by staying right here and trying to pull our chest towards our thumbs, trying to release that lower back. You don't our glutes are relaxed because we want to put the workload into our core. So if you're doing assisted, your hands will be on the ground and you'll be raising, and your arms will be helping you do the lift. Otherwise, you're going to be right here, and I just want our thumbs by our chest. And we're going to lift 1 and 2, keeping our glutes soft. 3, we want the workload in that core. 4 and 5 and 6. Never pinching that lower back. 7, make sure your belly button's pulled in tight. 8 and 9 and 10. Place your hands down. Come up for a quick stretch. Abs are engaged. Try to release the glutes. I know it's hard. They're going to engage when you come up like this, but try to keep them soft. And then roll down and lay down on the ground. Now I want you right now to see if you can pull your belly button up off the ground just by the contraction of those deep layers of your abdominals. Now we are going to work the lower body. So we're going to stay right here with our hands. Raise our glutes, our legs up. Try to get your quadriceps off the ground. And we're going to tap our toes 1 and then out as far as you can go before that joint stops your leg. And 2 and out. And 3, never letting that lower back wrinkle or pinch. 4 and out. And 5 and push. And 6 and out. And 7, do you have that belly button pulled in tight? And 8 and out. And 9 and out. And 10. Hold it out. Little lifts from here using the glutes and hamstrings with the lower back assisting you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw the legs back together. Push yourself up and back into an extended child's pose. So in extended child's pose, you're pushing your glutes towards your heels. Your arms are extended and you're pushing your arms down into the ground. Now I want you to fire up those abdominals and slowly round up 1 vertebrae at a time and shoulder roll. Now without using your hands to push off the ground, we're going to go to standing, and I want to do a lower body series standing. We're going to add some balance work to it. So I want you to take your right leg forward. Don't remember, you're not going to try not to use your arms. And then come up into that deep lunge. Now in this, we're looking to see that our knee is lined up over our ankle. And then our knee and glute are lined up, okay? So I'm going to turn and face you so you can see what it looks like. The most common mistake I see people make is their knee coming across their belly button line. So make sure that you have the inner thigh and outer thigh equally engaged. So we're going to come right here and we're going to go spinal rotation to the side of the knee that's in front and then come back to center. And that's a balance challenge as you come off center. And 2 and come back to center. And 3 and come back to center. And 4, you're exhaling as you're rotating. You're trying to get a little bit further each time. 5, pulling that back elbow around. And 6, and center. We only got 2 more. 7, and center. And 8, and center. Now draw down to the ground. Straighten that front leg for a quick little hamstring stretch. And then from here, we're going to shift our weight forward into that front leg and raise that back leg. Now your abdominals are still engaged, my hamstring's stretching, but it's also having to work. And we're going to raise that back leg up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now rest that back leg directly next to that front foot. We're going to hang with a rounded back for a minute. Your abdominals have to be engaged right now. And you're going to roll up slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, focusing on what you're feeling in the spine. And as you stack that 1 vertebrae at a time, you meet me at the top and you shoulder roll. We're going to get that second side, and I want you to think about, where is my front knee tracking? Is it trying to come across that belly button line, or is it staying lined up with my hip? So let's step back, second side, and what is our goal right now? Our goal is to get our knee lined up over our ankle and get that glute lined up with the knee. You're that low. One more thing, the back leg is not soft. That hamstring's engaged. Place your hands together. Spinal rotation to the side of the front knee. And 10. And 9. Keep it going. 8. And 7. Now you're focusing on the big toe of the front foot. That's your balance toe. And 4. And 3. And 2. Do a roll down. Now you notice I'm not tucking my chin. That rounds my upper back. My head is neutral, and I'm focusing on coming down 1 vertebrae at a time. Hands down by the side and legs up to the sky. I'm going to rotate to Pilates V. That means I'm making a V with my feet. I'm rotating my knees out, and I'm squeezing my inner thighs. And we're going to open those legs and shut them. And as we do this, instead of us envisioning our legs floating through air, we're going to act like we are pushing our legs through mud. So there's some resistance there as you come in. So it's going to be out and in, and out and in. Your goal right now is to draw your rib cage down and in, keeping those abdominals engaged, because we're going to add a hit, hit, and up, and hit, hit, and up, and out, out, and in, and hit, hit, and up. Now, as you're doing those hits, look at your calves. Are they bouncing around? If they are, you need to engage those calves, those quads and hamstrings a little bit more. And hit, hit, and in. Just a few more. Hit, hit. Look to see what your neck is doing. Your chin should not be resting on your chest. And hit, hit, and in. Crunch up. Take your right calf in your hand and slowly drop the back leg down just above the hip bone. So now I'm using my upper body and my core to stay right here, and I'm going to pull myself in. And as I switch legs, I'm not going to let my core move. And in, and in, and in. Let's not forget our breathing. Inhale, exhale. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and in, and in. And the further in I pull my leg, the more I'm going to feel it on that oblique. And in, shoulder blades are clear off the ground. You have 3 more times. 1, and pull, relax neck. 2, remember you're staring at your thighs, not the ceiling. And 3, and hold it right here. Drop the other leg down, and let's lay down and do a little bit of ankle circles. Reverse the ankle circle. And then I want you just to have that ankle, knee, hip bone lined up. Now let's readjust our back for a minute into neutral spine. That means your belly button and pubic bone are lined up. And I'm just going to draw some circles right here. Single leg circle. Now place your other hand on that other hip bone. It should not be moving. That's where your core is working. Drawing circles, going to the outside first. And look, if I don't pull my core in tight, this is what I look like. Nothing's moving but that leg. And 2 more, and 1 more, and pull that leg in. And switch legs, lay down, draw circles with those ankles. Reverse the circle, readjust the core to where you're in neutral spine, and we're going to start this side. The bottom leg has to be engaged too. And we're going to draw out, around, and up. Now say I can't do my circle that big without my body moving. Draw your circle here. It's not a competition. It's where you're comfortable and you can keep the form. And out, and across, and around, and across. As you go out to that side, feel that oblique being challenged. Remember, we have that little brick on our rib cage, so we're not letting it just float to the sky. And you've got 5 more, and 4, and 3. I'm even feeling my glutes, and 2, and 1, and pull that leg up. And as I do this, I'm going to take the other foot and plant it on the ground. We're going to stretch real quick. Every move we've done has had a stretch element into it. But just to cool down, we're going to push that knee away, crunch up, and gently grab the hamstring of the other leg. So now I have my IT band stretching. I've got my glutes stretching. I'm feeling my hip flexor stretch. And if you want a deeper stretch, straighten this other leg. Come up and gently pull that calf in. Now, if you will exhale as you stretch, you're going to get a deeper stretch. It's like if you're getting a massage and you're staying tense, they can't get the muscles quite as deep. And let's switch sides. Cross that ankle, push the knee away, gently grab the hamstring and pull in. Feels so good. Now we're going to take this leg and straighten it if you're comfortable doing that. If not, stay where you were. Gently take this calf in your hands and pull, coming as deep as you're comfortable doing, exhaling as you do it. In through the nose, out through the mouth, relaxing even the jawline. Now we're going to cross the ankles and rock up to seated. Now I want you to go to spinal rotation to finish off. You're going to push off this knee gently and use that back hand to pull yourself around. Feel all that release through that lower back while still keeping the abdominals engaged. And then switch sides. Exhale. Pushing off this front hand, pulling with the back hand. Feeling that release of that core that's had to stabilize you this whole 30 minutes. And come back to center and hinge forward. Place your hands down, let your head relax. And for our final roll up, we're going to take a deep breath in and exhale and around the back and roll up and shoulder roll and draw those shoulder blades down. That's it for Mat Pilates today, guys. My name's Kim. I sure enjoyed being with you. Y'all have a blessed day.